Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. We're going to go through some top MLS budget picks that I think are just really all around good value for money. So let's just jump straight into it. And just before we get into the first teams and player guys, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Okay, now the first player we're going to go for is Dane St. Clair here, who is from Canada and he plays for Minnesota United. Now, he's not injured. He is away on international duty, as you can see there, for Canada, of course. And as you can see here, doesn't really start for them at all, or doesn't really play for them. He looked like he played a friendly, it looks like, against Netherlands, where they were beaten 4-0, to put it lightly. But other than that, I think he's a half-decent goalkeeper. Funded £10 for the in-season card, or £8.80 for the classic card. I think again provides solid value. And the why I'm showing this guy is because with Canada, they are sitting second currently in a group of 4, I believe it is, for the Copa America. And you can see there they do face Chile next, where he's not going to start. So I think this guy provides good value, because when he does start for Minnesota United, if we grab it up here, as you can see here, he has really good scores, and obviously those last DMPs because he's away on Copa America with Canada. So overall, I think this guy, as you can see there, some really nice scores there for a goalkeeper. And yeah, I think the only thing, if Canada do go through the group stages, more than likely they're going to come against a decent opponent and probably be knocked out in the knockout rounds. But yeah, so maybe in 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 at a push, Canada should really go out of Copa America, so you can just use them then. Second goalkeeper here, I've got Takaka. Probably butcher that. Plays for Vancouver Whitecaps and only 28 years old, only £9.30 currently, again in classic and in season price, which is really nice. The scores don't show all too much because I think they've been conceding a lot recently, as you can see here. It's conceded 2, conceded 3, 1, you know, not really keeping any clean sheets as of recently, but he can still, as you can see there, put up some really nice scores. For a goalkeeper, of course, it's always just really difficult. But yeah, for 28 years old, obviously he's got a contract till December 31st, 2024, as you can see up there. And so he does only have literally like 6 months left on his contract, but who knows if they'll extend that, or who knows if he goes to the J-League, to probably a better team, I would more or less presume. But I think a decent price nonetheless. Defenders now, I'm going to go for Julio Casante. Plays for Austin. Again, not injured. He is currently away at Copa America with Costa Rica. He's only 50p in season, which is why I'm showing him. Doesn't have the best of scores, but can score fairly well when he is playing for Austin. I know they were having a very up and down season. They still kind of really are, you know. But in regards to his scores, I mean, you know, he doesn't hit too bad when he's actually playing and starting. If we were to just filter that out here for the last year, you know, only hitting 6.2 in AA, 8.3 over the last 6 months, scoring 2 goals. So I don't think it's too bad. But as you can see there, when he plays and when he's, you know, when he's starting, I think he could put up some really decent scores there, especially for the price for just the said 50p. So that's going to be Julio Casante of Austin. Now we've got Jakob Glesnes. Again, probably butchered it, don't care. Philadelphia Union centre back here. Yeah, half decent player. Philadelphia, I do like them as a team. So you see they're a bit up and down at the moment. I'm sure Sorare, you're not going to enjoy that one. But nonetheless, like he's still getting like really good AA scoring. Even here, seeing the 2 goals away at home to Charlotte, still hitting 23 worth of positive AA. And again, all up over the last 3 months, I think he's putting up really good scores. 17.1, I should say, for the average AA as well that he's hitting there. And I just think that's just a really solid output there. And only £4 for the in-season and £2.60 or £2.70 in regards to his classic card. Again, shows great value in my opinion. And yeah, I think overall, only being 30 years old, still has a 1.5 years left on his contract. I think there's a lot going for this sort of player. Next defender, Yeimar Gomez Andrade of Seattle Sounders. The Colombian is a half decent pick, I think, for £4.25 in season and £2.66 in the classical side of it. And right, as you can see there, scores wise, he puts up some really decent scores. You know, doesn't peak like some other players on this list, but again, I don't think you can argue too much for the price because he shows some sort of consistency. And yeah, for hitting 70s and hit the 180, I think, so far at the start of this season. But overall, I think he's more a good side of the steady Eddie. So somebody who's hitting pretty consistent scores no matter what sort of happens. As you can see here, even in his latest game when they conceded 2 goals to Dallas, he's still hitting 33.5 worth of AA and had -8 worth of AA in regards to scores. So he's still hitting 40 AA. Obviously, you know, it's all ifs and buts and maybes, but still good nonetheless. And yeah, like I said, with the score, £4 and £2.70, again, shows really good value. And I think he's just a solid player all round as well. Take in mind, he is 31 and he also is only has 6 months left on his contract. But I have no doubt, surely, what you would think, Seattle Sounders would want to try extend that contract. He's quite a pivotal figure in that team. And yeah, overall, Seattle Sounders are very up and down, but I don't think that actually matters. As you can see here against Sporting Kansas City, again conceding 2 goals away from home, but still hitting 34 worth positive AA, which is no mean feat for any defender. Next defender, I've got Andrew Brody here of Real Salt Lake City. Yeah, I think again solid value. 80p for the classic, I think is a really good buy there, and even £2.10 for the in-season card as well. For these sort of scores, again, I would put him against Yeimar or Andres. Again, in regards to a sort of steady Eddie category, he's just recently peaked at a 90 score here. As you can see here, over the last year, he's not really hitting that apart from the 99 he hit yonks ago back on, looks like what around time, around the 5th of August. So yeah, so you're not really using this guy again for his peak capabilities. But again, if you just need a player to really just sort of guarantee you that sort of 55, 60 plus scores, I think, you know, although that's not really winning material, of course, I don't think you can really look at this guy as a potentially he could be letting you down, unless obviously he just absolutely drops a stinker, which obviously he is susceptible to, as you can see there with the 12, the 29, 30s, etc. But other than that, I don't think he's too bad. Again, till December 31st, 2024, apparently, according to Sorare data, 29 years old, so 6 months left of his contract. Should ideally extend, but you never know with these cards, do you? But again, for the price, can't go wrong. On to the midfielders. So I've got Mark Delgado of LA Galaxy, and I think this guy is a really good pickup for £3.20 in Classic, and also in season, you're picking him up for £4.50. And yeah, just look at the scores here. I think it's really decent here, especially over the last 6 months where he actually has started for this season, hitting an average of 20.2 worth of AA in 18 games. I think is really solid, contributing 1 goal, 3 assists, and also that cheeky red card there he's put there also, which is probably whereabouts in this one. Okay, when he's hitting 51 score, which isn't too bad still, considering he was hitting 16 worth of AA and still hit a 50 plus, despite getting a red card. Obviously he got an assist that game also, but still nonetheless a really good score. Has some, you know, half decent games coming up, or maybe say Earthquakes is all right. Los Angeles is going to be difficult, although they are at home, and that's going to be the rivalry there. And obviously Minnesota as well. I know I'm missing a few players due to Copa America and also the Euros. So again, I think he can put up some really solid scores in these next few weeks, and passing that as well for £4.50. I don't think you can go too much wrong about this. Again, 29 years old, December 2024 contract, so 6 months left. I think this guy's a solid pick. Nicholas Ladero, right, this guy, the 35-year-old veteran, again, contract to 2024. Apparently, everyone's apparently December 31st, 2024. I'm not sure if this is a glitch or whatever, but make sure you do your own research for any player I chose for you guys here. Yeah, but the Uruguayan has done really well so far since moving from Seattle when he was a free agent, now been picked up by Orlando City. £1.60 for his in-season card, I think is really decent, and 80p for his classic. And this is why I think here, so if we just push this through to Orlando City, I think, and if we also maybe tailor this to when he has been starting, because he's been starting a lot of games, not sure if that changed, but either way, he's hitting up some half-decent scores there for the price that you're paying. And in regards to that, he's got 4 assists, 1 goal in the 16 games he's played, and also 15.5 worth of AA, which again, shouldn't be sniffed at there. Really solid. Like I said, this guy can actually peak and hit some really good scores this season. 76, 71, 90, 100 he's hit very recently. Yeah, very solid player. And again, for £1.60, or 80p even, I think could be a solid value for your team in the MLS. Now, I like the look of this guy, Joseph Rosales. He's a Honduras left back or left wing back from Minnesota United, and he's at £3.45 and £2.90 in the classic. L5 is 67, L15 is 62 is really, really nice indeed. And these are the scores, and this obviously is why. So he's going in and out of the team, because I believe it's the times where he's going with Honduras or when he's just been out of favour of the team. But as you can see there, Honduras and Cuba, he's just missed the games there. So if we just push this to just Minnesota United, as you can see there, and the games he has played, I think, once he wants to do it, of course, very solid scores there. I think like you're hitting at least 50, 60s each time. And if he's getting an assist, you're pretty much guaranteed to be hitting that 70, 80 plus score. So yeah, it seems to be on fire. I think £3.45 is too cheap for him, especially someone who's under 23 as well, to July 1st, 2025, as you can see on screen. Apparently has a contract until December 31st, 2024, so I'm just not going to bother with this anyway. We're going to speak about that anymore because it just sounds like every MLS player has a contract until December 31st, 2024. But yeah, I think really solid, £3.45, £3 or £2.90 in the classic. I don't think you can go too wrong with that. Has some, let's say, half decent games coming up as well. Minnesota are missing quite a few players. You can see here they're starting to drop off near this back end here, purely because they're missing, they were missing quite a lot of main stage players. I know the goalkeeper's gone. I know Lod went with Finland, and there was a few others, Pookie, etc., who had gone, who's not really the best player, but they're losing players nonetheless. But yeah, I think a really, really solid player for just the under £4. Now, I said Ladero was a veteran. This guy is a veteran. Maximiliano Morales, and I love this guy. For just £2 in season. Might be a little steep considering this guy probably will retire and not get his contract extended after this season. But for the scores he's putting up since coming back to New York City, I think is really solid, and only £1 again in classic. As you can see, L5 is 61, L15 is 61. Really solid. He did move from New York City, where he was having a phenomenal season, and he moved, I think, looks like regretfully for his end, moved back to Argentina, where it just did not work out for him, wasn't getting the game time, and now has since moved back to New York. And as you can see here, has 2 assists in the last 4 games, and that's with 3 sub appearances. And most recently, nearly hitting 20 plus worth of AA despite a 1-0 loss. So hitting 54 score there. Apparently looks likely to be picking up another first team appearance as well. So again, take this with a pinch of salt. Make sure you do your own research. Make sure you choose and look at any discords to sort of see the squad predictors and things like this to see if he's going to be in the starting 11. But I think for the classic side of things, for only £1, just throw him in an in-season team. Obviously, you only get one classic card if he doesn't look he's starting. And if he does, home to Orlando, home to Montreal, Austin have been up in the air, Chicago have been up in the air, so have Atlanta United there, away, a lot of away games going on, unfortunately, there, but against teams who aren't the strongest at home at the moment. So I think Maximiliano Morales is a really decent pick for just £1. Okay, now Brian Gutierrez of Chicago Fire, under 23, hitting is 21 years old, and December 31st, 2028. There you go, change there. £3.45 in regards to his in-season, and just over £2 in regards to his classical scores. And I think this is really, really solid scoring for somebody who is under 23 till, like I said, December, I should say, English is hard, December 31st, 2028. So really, really solid here, I think, in regards to that aspect of things, using being able to utilise him in under 23 competition. But again, somebody who can peak. Obviously, he's hit around this part here, which, to be fair, looks like, well, he's got a few sub appearances. If we just get rid of those. In regards to his scores in general, look, hits 8.5 worth of AA, which is not the best, but having 5 goals, 3 assists, 2 penalty kicks, 1, and either a last man tackle or clearance off the line. That's basically 11 decisives he's hit in the last 29 appearances, which again is no mean feat. So for him, for only £3.45 or just over £2 for the classic, again, I can't see too much issue with someone like Brian Gutierrez. Now, one of my favourites on the list, because Jonesy has told me about this guy, and he told me to pick him up because he is playing a different position now, playing a more attacking position in the Seattle Sounders team, and it's going to be Albert Rusnak of Seattle Sounders. Literally just under £6 in regards to his in-season price at the moment, and just under £4 for his classic price. Playing at home to Chicago, then New England, who aren't very good away, so he's got some really good fixture there, which I'm going to utilise him in. As you can see there, under his price, I do own one of these classic cards, and so far so good this season, putting up really good scores, 7 assists, 1 goal, 1 penalty, 1 in the 15 appearances he has had for Seattle Sounders. So again, really short and sweet. I think this guy's good. Obviously not the cheapest, but I think in regards to output, as you can see from his L5 and L15, I think are really solid for the value you're going to be paying. Now the final player is going to be the forward, Mikael Ure of Philadelphia Union, and so far at £5.30, again I think is quite decent value, and under £4 for his classical price. Now Carranza, Julian Carranza is pretty much all but confirmed to move to Feyenoord, I believe. So he looks like he will be moving to that very, very soon. Carranza is also out with an ankle injury, I believe it is, or knee injury, is one or the other. So again, he is missing all the games, and in which case then Ure has been thrown onto the pitch to make sure that he can take over Carranza for that particular spot. And so far so good, I would say. Carranza has been away for over the last month or so, in which case here, hitting 2 goals and an assist within the last 5 games, again, is really solid considering how up and down, as you can see there, Philadelphia Union have been over the last month. But again, yeah, just 2 goals, 1 assist, really solid decisively. AA of 8.3, which again, I don't think is too bad for a forward, I should say. And in regards to teams he's got coming up, Montreal away is difficult. Chicago, I think any way can happen there. New York again, same with Toronto, and also it looks like New England at home there, which they should win because they've not been playing very well recently. So yeah, for £5.30 and for just under £4 for a forward card, by the way, guys, I think again shows really solid value. And you know what? If you know anyone else I haven't added on the list today, make sure to comment that below, and I'll be making sure that I will check them out, and who knows, I might even shout you out in the next video. And if you're new here, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to be notified every time I upload.